Well, thanks everybody for coming out to my newest comedy show. I've been cultivating all of this filth for months and waiting for the right time to do it, and my birthday seemed like the best time. Last year, for my 40th birthday, I told you all the new and exciting ways that my body was breaking down, and I have an update. For starters, I had to employ a tweezers recently, as there may have been a bright white hair on my tea bag, which is not a good sign, dude. That's not a sexy look. There's like one white hair amongst the rest that are dark brown, if you're wondering. And it's just like, oh, that's not good. Oh, fuck, this is going to be a thing. I already have to pluck hairs out of my chest that are white so I don't look like the weird old dad at the fucking splash pad with my kids running around. The only other thing I can report, other than that my hair's getting less and less, is I sat on my balls the other day. Like, I sat down on the toilet seat at work, and my left nut ended up underneath my hamstring, and I'm sitting down, I'm like, oh, shit. And thank fuck I was alone in the goddamn bathroom, because I said that out loud. It was a surprise. Like, as you get older, it's true, like silly putty, they will stretch. Especially when you're cooking all fucking day in a hot-ass warehouse. So I sat on my balls. That's a thing now. I have to watch out for that and like cradle them as I sit down to go potty, which is very manly. It's like, I don't want to sit on my tea bag. Yeah, and then the only other update would be a funny story. So I've been lying when I get my driver's license renewed for years, like 3 or 4 cycles. You have to take the eye exam. You put your head in the fucking Viewmaster and push your forehead on the thing that turns on the lights and you see the letters, and I would memorize them really quick, and then when she tells me to close one eye and open the other, I would fucking lie and just have them both open. But 4 years ago, she's like, your vision is getting so bad, you might want to think about getting glasses. And so I went and got these very sexy numbers, right? They make me look quite intelligent, or possibly like a sex offender. I'm not sure. But then when I went to go get my driver's license renewed last week, funny story, she just had me sign a piece of paper and sent me on my fucking way. And I'm like, wait a minute. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, aren't I going to do the eye test? She's like, I wasn't going to make you. Why, do you want to? And I'm like, I literally have these glasses just so that I can pass the thing. Because last time the lady put the fear of God in me that if I don't have a better score on the eye test, she's not going to pass me. And there's nothing cool about being an adult and losing your fucking license because you can't see for shit. The only other member of my family that anybody gives a fuck to hear about is obviously my son, Stinky Boy. And I've told you some stories about his fascination with his wiener. And his big winner. Let me just rattle off some highlights here. He sits in the bathtub and puts a cup over his junk and goes, I have a big winner. He mostly does that to his mom, and I don't know why. But, oh, dear God. I'm not sure if I told everybody about this one before, but the drain stop in your tub that you turn and it goes down and closes off. Well, mine just pops off because it's a piece of shit. Because the house is old and like everything here, it doesn't fucking work right. He took it off. He looked at his wiener, and then he looked at the thing, and then he looked at his wiener, and he looked at the hole in it, and then he tried to fuck it. He tried to put it on the tip of his little baby dick. Isn't that neat? And then today, like I'm still trying to memorize all the shit I wrote for the show tonight, right? Well, he fucking gives me a fresh one. I got him and his sister, who's 6, in the tub. He'll be 4 in a week and a half. She goes, Dad, he said he has blood in his wiener. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? What do you mean? And he's like here. And then he takes it with 2 fingers and he fucking spreads his piss hole open at me. And he's like, look. And I'm like, I don't wanna, you fucking creep, dude. What the fuck? And that's not the only time he showed me one of his holes lately. In like very, celebratory fashion. We went to the splash pad and we came home. And I'm like, go to the bathroom, throw your swimsuit in the fucking tub, put your clothes back on for me. And he comes out. I'm like, why are you naked in my hallway? He's like, 'cause. He turns around and he shakes his butt at me. But then he goes, Dad, look. And he bends over and he's looking at me upside down through his legs. And then he grabs a cheek in each hand and fucking pulls them apart. And I'm staring him in the brown eye. I don't know if you know what goatsy is from the internet. Goatsy is a picture of a man from years ago who was naked and spreading his ass cheeks. And I mean, something about his actual rim and the whole socket of his anus is partially separated. And you can see clear through to the other side of the fucking universe.
I hate that I know what you're talking about.
See? Yeah. Like, I don't go around looking to see gay dudes' buttholes, but, I mean, I saw that guy's, and I was like, wow, I'm not even, like, upset that I'm seeing this. This is like a fucking National Geographic moment for me. Yeah. So that's just my warm-up part of the act. So here's the deal. My first special was called This Is 40. My second one was called We Know Power. For obvious reasons, and the cover of it is a picture of my son dressed as Gecko from fucking PJ Masks. Tonight's show is titled Raunchy, and I want you to know why, and it really touched my heart. I work with a guy, he DJs, he's really mild-mannered, he's into 90s hip-hop and shit, like really into 90s hip-hop, super fucking cool guy. So I put out a song not too long ago called Standing 69. And I came to work all excited to be like, hey, I put out a new song to the people that I have shared with that I make that music, because you can tell everybody or you'll end up down at HR. That's just how the world works. So I'm like, dude, I made a new song. And he's like, oh, is it like the rest of your material? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, raunchy. I'm like a fucking retard on Christmas morning that just opened up a pie. I smiled. I'm like, yeah, dude, it is. It really, really is. And just one word so perfectly encompasses everything I put into entertainment. Because, let's be honest, everybody knows me either a whole lot or a little. Do I seem like I give a fuck about what I say?
No.
It's not because I have Tourette's. I just generally don't filter myself. Some people are aghast. Some people appreciate it. I mean, I want you to think about this. Do you know or have you met anybody, the entire time you've known me, that says more fucked up shit than me? Take a second and think. I'm willing to bet money there's not.
I'll take that, Matt.
Yeah, it's...
more like racist.
Yeah, see, I don't really go for the racist thing as much as I just, like, equate food to sex acts and sights and smells and wordplay and making fun of my fat fucking mom, who I've recently dubbed the Queen of Lardinia due to her human beanbag shape. But, well, yeah, I don't really care. And now, I mean, if I could be serious for a moment, do we have any squirters in the audience? Anybody? Anybody? It's mainly a question for the ladies, of which there are only 2, so that doesn't really work to the material's advantage. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Okay. You pause like you're like, uh-oh. Some women, when they are stimulated down in their pussy, will shoot water out of it a little bit. Some juice, Like, some of it, it's just a trickle. And sometimes it's like Edward Scissorhands stabbed a fucking waterbed and somebody jumped on it. And this isn't something that I have a lot of experience with or I was ever really interested in. But years ago, when I worked at a jail, I had a fellow coworker who, just for statistical purposes and background information, she's black, she's lesbian, and she's a military veteran. And one day, somehow we got on the conversation. She somehow made a comment about making a girl squirt. And I went, huh? Like, is that really like a thing? You would think that me, of all people, would be like, oh, yeah, I'll fucking walk you right through it right now. Grab a pen. But no, and she's like, yeah, like you go down on a girl and you fucking just make her spray. And so I went and I fucking watched videos of it. I'm like, holy shit. And I know some people find that like really hot and erotic. But if you are unaware, when a woman squirts, she is peeing. A little bit. Not always a lot. But it's urine. It comes out of the same fucking hole, and you can Google that shit right now if you don't believe me. It's urine-based, which women will brag about. I'm a squirter, fucking get me off. Ah. You know, like somebody popping a fucking water balloon and just... It is what it is, and the statistic is, and this is funny, between 10 and 54% of women squirt when they come. Yeah. Think of the disparity in those numbers. Either 1 in 10 or fucking half. Usually, if you're going to put out statistics, you want to be in a wheelhouse that's more refined so you don't sound like a retarded person sat down and just thought of the first two numbers to write down. Like, who was in charge of this study to track this shit? Is it one scientist that fucking went out with a clipboard to the mall like a creep and fucking asked women? Is it one guy that's fucked a lot of chicks and he's really into that shit and then he just, talks about his own experience? Or again, is it somebody that might have a developmental disability who has an older brother who's hilarious and showed him some things on the internet? He's like, explain! It could be anything like that. And I got to tell you, I got a couple of stories about this. I'm going to just rattle off. I was with a girl one time, and we were being intimate. And she had told me, I can squirt. I'm a squirter. Like that's somehow going to improve my experience. I don't need fluid on me. As long as the chassis lube, that's all I worry about. Because nobody wants to fucking go into a fucking ham sandwich that's all dry and shit. So anyways, I'm pumping her guts. She's like, oh, I'm going to squirt. And then just like a little spritz on my tea bag. And I'm just like, huh. Well, that's what that's like, huh? Interesting. So as soon as we are done and she's in the bathroom taking her post-coital piss, I'm like, hey, you know that when you do that, you're peeing, right? And she went, what? Like she was really uncomfortable, which made me feel so much better, honestly. And I explained it to her, and then we did what anybody in this day and age would do, and we Googled it. And she read it, and she went, oh my God. And she was like mortified, which then increased my enjoyment of opening her mind to this. Like, she is not going to look me in the eyes for the rest of the night, and that shit is going to be fucking hilarious. But that's technically not, I think, my first experience. I was with another girl years ago, and I didn't find this out until, the end of the book. You're getting the information like fucking Pulp Fiction. You see the ending right away. There was fluid on me during sex. Way more than there should have been. This person had a habit of holding their pee. I don't know why. But I found that I like that you're groaning. That makes it so much better for me. Would hold her pee and then get on top. And if she started on top and I made her come, suddenly there'd be this release of copious amounts of fluid that felt oddly cold. Yeah, and it's like my bedroom was in the basement, so the AC was always blasting, dude. So it was like extra cold. I'm like, wow, that's weird. And then it kept happening, and then I started asking questions, and then she got really uncomfortable, and then I felt bad, because I was young yet. I hadn't learned to be completely unempathetic about this and laugh behind their back or to their face. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it wasn't like I didn't research it before I made the approach. Kind of like an intervention. You all get together and discuss the fucking information before you sit down and it's like, oh, guess what, bitch? We're not having fucking dinner. Have a seat. We're going to talk about what a piece of shit you are. No, I had taken to when she'd leave, I'd smelled the comforter. And it didn't exactly smell like urine the way that like a bus station does. But there was a slight hint of urea. You could tell there was some pee on the bed. And I'm like, this bitch is pissing on me. And it's just like, okay, I don't hate it, but I didn't sign up for this shit. So can we, not do that anymore? And I told her, and she was so, mortified does not describe her fucking face and how meek she was the rest of the night. And when you care about someone, you're like, I'm sorry, but we had to have this tough conversation. Because if you end up with that person, you don't want to just spend 40 years together and just one day be like, hey, you've been pissing on me, right? Like for decades. Why didn't you say anything? Because I loved you back then. So yeah, squirting and urine. Ta-da! And as long as we're talking about misconceptions about sex, I'm sure most of us have busted out a 69 a time or two. It's really not like a hot and sexy experience, is it? Is anybody like, fuck yeah, 69, yeah! It's fucking me do you, you do me. Simultaneously. That's in my song, by the way, standing 69. I do you and you do me. Simultaneous ecstasy. Guarantee an enjoyable time. It's a standing 69. That's part of the chorus. Anyways, it's such a sensory overload of an experience. The sights, the smells, the flavors, the sounds of her pussy juice lapping. And like, it's probably more enjoyable if it's like two dudes because they both love dick, right? And not everybody likes to eat pussy, and not every chick likes to suck cock. So as much as like people are like, oh, hey, fucking, we 69, high five me. Like, I'm not gonna, because let's be honest, you are dangerously close to that person's butthole. Your mouth is on their front butt, but their fucking brown eye is right there. All right, and all it takes is like just a little bit of gas, and you will have the worst case of pink eye you've ever fucking had. Short of having somebody straight up shit on your face, which if you find someone on the internet, you can pay them money and they will do it. I've heard. I've never had the pink eye from that, but yeah, you're sitting there, and one time I'm just lapping pussy, and it's just like, I'm looking at your butthole. And I like buttholes. I wrote a song about it. It's called Show Me Your Asshole. Buttholes are interesting to me. I will look at them. They're fun. But just, it's right there. You're so dangerously close to pure disaster. Because, like, what if they ate something that didn't agree with them, and then you lick a little bit too feverishly, and then they just, right in your fucking face. You know, like, it's one thing if you like Hunt's snack packs. It's another thing to wear one. And then, of course, there's always the tried and true, how are we doing this? Are we going to both be on the bed sideways? Are you going to lay on top of me? Am I going to lay on top of you? And if you're a chick and the guy's on top, it's really not fair, by the way, because gravity and balls that end up on the fucking bridge of your nose and right there on your fucking forehead, you're getting teabagged. And maybe you have to convince yourself it's not going on, or maybe you've never thought about it, and now you'll never not think about it again. You're welcome. But fucking balls on your face.
It's a buffer from the brown eye.
I guess. I mean, it is a mud flap, isn't it? But still, like, fucking just, you're sitting there, fucking getting slapped in the forehead with a teabag. Or if you're lucky enough to be the girl that's like, I'll just lay off the edge of the bed upside down, and you're getting, like, gravity fucked in the mouth. That can't be fun. Because how do you communicate if something's wrong? Because I have a story about that, too. It was 2001, and I was 69ing a girl whose dad owns. Yep, she's laughing because she knows her. And so we're at her parents' house, and I'm on the bottom with my head hanging off the bed so that I have a little bit of flexibility for, you know, my airway to not be completely clogged with fucking pussy meat. And I'm licking away, and all of a sudden, like, I lick, and then I feel fluid in my mouth. She squirted in my mouth. And then it's like, what do? She's on top of me. So I can't just push her off suddenly, because she's going to be like, what the fuck? And I can't talk because I have piss in my mouth. And I didn't want to just turn and spit on the carpet, be like, what the fuck, bitch? You just pissed in my mouth. That is not cool. Switch positions with me. That was a scary moment. It's got to be like if you're in one of those underwater shark cages and all of a sudden one of the bars gives out and the great white's like right there, like, oh, fuck. Like, what's going to happen? Like, if she repositions wrong and it pushes the wind out of me, am I going to spit it on her? Am I going to accidentally cough and aspirate on urine? And my parents are going to have to go down to the fucking medical examiner's office, and they're going to be like, we found him dead during a sex act. There was urine in his lungs. Do you know if he was into, like, water sports here? Did he like the golden showers? We don't know. And then she'd be sitting there sobbing, guilty for the rest of her life that she drowned me in poon, literally. Which, by the way, if you're 69ing, bit of advice, don't, unless you really love the person, kiss or lick their taint. Yeah, see, you was the right response. Unless they are fresh out of the shower, and even then it's still a fucking gamble, because there's a reason people jokingly call it their jungle bridge. Hair grows there. And it's right by your fucking anus, and if you're like me, you fart all fucking day long, and it's not that I don't wash properly, but there's some times in the summer that I swear my fucking nuts smell like circus peanuts, the candy. I don't know what it is. Like maybe I should baby powder them shits. Yeah, or almost kind of like dried apricots. See what I said about food and sex? Like, Beardsley over there learned this shit recently at work, how good I am at relating sex to fucking food. Like Dinty Moore beef stew and ass play. The last thing I'll say about 69ing before I transition to ass play is nothing ruins a good 69 like sudden uproarious laughter that is then muffled by a dick in a mouth. And then having to go, why the fuck are you laughing? Well, you have toilet paper crumbs in your taint hairs. It's like, fuck! Mood ruined. We're not gonna finish. No, I'm gonna go get dressed. I'm gonna go hop in the shower first and decrumb my fucking ass hairs. Yay. Which, same woman one time, when I had her put her finger inside me, because you hear things about prostate play, and it's supposed to be very intense. But it's not like a guarantee. You don't just like put it in there, and it's like operation for the second you ding the sides, it's like, brrr, you know. There was a lot of time where I just, okay, here's the setup. I'm laying on my back, obviously, because I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm not going to go, fucking on all fours and be like, okay, ease her in. A lot of lubricant, obviously. A glove. If you're smart, somebody once told me, why would I wear a glove? Because my shit comes out of there. Gross. What the fuck is your problem? And she's gloved up, and she's lubed up, and she's just sliding her finger up there. And I was both delighted and then also embarrassed at the same time. And it wasn't like there were people watching us, but I felt the need to put a pillow over my face to hide me gritting my teeth. It wasn't like the lights were on either. There was no real illumination in the room. And then she was inside me. And we spent like 10 minutes with her rooting around in there, and nothing was happening. Other than I kind of felt like I had to pee. And then, I'm like, give me your phone. And it's weird to fucking ask somebody to borrow their phone in general, but to ask someone who's got their finger in your ass, and like, all right, and you start Googling fucking prostate stimulation. And there's a YouTube video. I'm like, really? But it's just like, audio and then like pictures. So I hit play. And so she's in there. And she's like, what does it say? I'm like, I don't know, circle your finger a little bit, it says. And she does, because she loves me. And all of a sudden, I start laughing. Which, again, weird when your finger's up someone's ass and they start giggling. I mean fucking giggling. Because the video said, always make sure to clip or trim your fingernails before initiating contact. And I'm like, oh my God, why didn't we think of that? Did you trim your nails before we did this? I mean, the glove is kind of a barrier. But yeah, she said that when I laughed, she felt me clench, and that was the end of that, because the mood ruined. Laughter is fucking a weird thing when you're getting down. Unless you're like two fucking clowns, or comedians, or like a magician and somebody else who's like really into like tricks where they pull a quarter out of nowhere. Yeah. And what is one thing that all of these topics have in common? No, not food. The internet. Not my butthole. But the internet. The internet that we have now, where you can type in any fucking heinous act, and you will either find jokes, pictures, videos, or WikiHows. Which is fucking weird. I can't be alone in this. Think back to when you were in your teens, and you were first learning about sex and foreplay and getting to third base and shit, and you'd hear a lot of stuff from other kids. Like on the playground, you'd hear sex stuff, and some of it just sounded so fucking unbelievably wrong and fantastical. You're like, there's no fucking way. And kids today don't realize that if you didn't have an older brother or sister or you didn't have a friend with older siblings who was either going to give you the goods or totally tell you the wrong thing to fuck with you, your only other source was to ask an adult. And I'm not going to be like, Mom, is it true that when people have sex that you have to fall asleep with your penis inside the vagina and that you pee out the sperms when you're sleeping? Because I can tell you, Linda would have fucking lost her shit because this woman doesn't even like to kiss on the mouth with tongues. So I don't imagine whatever her and my dad do in their special time really is unique or, what's the best word I could think here? Zany? Yeah. So all these fucking kids have all this easy access to all this information that we didn't. And that fucking falling asleep with your dick inside of a chicken peeing out the sperms is literally verbatim. He's like, you have to fall asleep with your penis inside the vagina and then you pee out the sperms. My brother told me. Yeah, thanks, Richie. That one really helped me out later in life. I've fallen asleep during sex one time, and I did not make a baby. But I did have a very quiet breakfast the next morning. Holy shit. And especially, are you sleeping? I'm like, no. I was face down on the pillow like, don't fucking wake me up in the middle of the night to fuck you because you're in the mood. And then be mad if I doze off. It's 3 in the goddamn morning. I was in dreamland, like little Nemo the Dream Master. And you're pissed off because I got a little sleepy. Get on top and put more effort in. Here's another great one. During sex, your nipples have to touch. What the fuck? For what purpose? Is this Voltron? Are we making a Megazord? Are we GoBots? We're not Legos, motherfucker. Her nipples aren't inverted and mine stick out, or vice versa. I mean, I get how nipples touch, but what is that going to do? Because the nipples are an erogenous zone, you just rubbing your fucking. It just sounds absolutely goddamn ridiculous. Thanks, Richie. That was his brother again. Here's one you may have heard a time or two. Cum has a lot of calories in it. It has 3,000 calories in it. Yeah, you've heard that shit before, right? Somebody at one time made a comment to you or around you about the high caloric content of human ejaculate. And it's like, that can't fucking be right. Because gay dudes are usually really fucking in shape. And if they chug cum like that, wouldn't they be all super fucking Jared from Subway before he started downing sandwiches and molesting children? And the greatest one of all comes from a guy. His name is fucking hate this cunt. He was such a bully. Fuck him, he works at Frito-Lay. Yeah, I fucking Facebook stalked that motherfucker, and I wanted to go apply there just so I could run in and be like, hey bitch, I name dropped you in the interview to get the job. We're going to be real close again, you and I. But then I just never do anything. I make him nervous. Anyways, once told me that, yeah, the first time you have sex with a chick, you got to rip her cunt. I'm like, excuse me? Rip a cunt? Explain to me as best you can what that entails. You take 2 fingers in each hand, you put them in the lips, and you rip it quick so the hole opens up. And I'm like, it's not a fucking cereal bag, you stupid ass. It's a fucking pussy. And one thing I've heard about vaginas that seems to be universal information is that people enjoy when they're tight. Not like somebody fucking just punched a piñata. God damn. You could probably Google that, rip a cunt. I've tried. I haven't found any evidence to suggest that theory is true. But that's just, when you're growing up, you hear all kinds of wild shit, and people have all kinds of misinformation, kind of like anywhere today about politics and vaccines or any. This alternative facts shit ain't got nothing on the 90s and learning about sex on the playground. Which, sticking with the internet here, it's no secret that I have divulged that I look at pornography on the computer. Does anybody want to shout out what I like to Google the most, or what's my choice item to seek out?
Asian women.
Amateur Asian woman nude, or amateur Asian tits. I've explained. I find Asian women very elegant. I don't know what it is. I've never been with one. I see plenty of them. Like, no matter where you go, there's like, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting an Asian family. And I have no problem with them. I'm just saying, like, one day I was at Target with my daughters. I'm like, it is getting awfully Asian around here. And they're like, Dad. I'm like, no, dude, it's like the Asian invasion. They're fucking, look at it. Look at this shit. Asian, Asian, Asian. What the fuck, dude? It's Blaine. We're not like in one of those other cities with Brooklyn in the name that's supposedly full of them. And that's fine if they're around and they are hardworking people and they're good neighbors. I don't give a shit. I'm not knocking Asian people. But anyways, Asians everywhere. And then there's the joke that if you're not careful and you don't look over your shoulder when they're behind you, they might shoot you with the Asianator gun and turn you into one. So it could be like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I've never heard that.
It's because you don't go to Target with me and my daughters, dude. And now my fucking 10-year-old, every time we're somewhere, she goes, Dad. I'm like, don't fucking say it. She goes, Asian. Which is how I fucking said it. And it's like, we are at the carnival and there's a lot of noise, but everybody clearly heard you say that. It's called the 20-foot rule. If you're going to talk shit about somebody, let them get 20 feet away and then talk in a quieted tone so they don't fucking hear you, so I don't have to get Jackie Chan in the face by some guy that thinks we're making fun of him. We're just going, oh, Asian. Just like if you're like, oh, red car. So amateur Asian tits. Love Asian tits. They're neat. But I don't just like look at porn and I know it sounds like I'm a dirty hornball that just looks at porn all the time. I'm not. Because traditionally, and this goes back to when I was courting my wife before we made babies of our own, we would look at weird, I'd be like, get your phone out, we're going to look something up. And just weird internet searches, movie parodies, 10-inch Mutant Ninja Turtles. Look it up. Ever see the horror movie Reanimator? Fucking watch the porno Repenetrator.
Oh my god.
The Triple X Vengers, the Ass Vengers. Look up Power Rangers porno parody. That is some crazy shit. Goldar and his fucking blue monkey dog dork. So, over the years I've seen some shit. I've seen Goatsy. I've seen Lemon Party. I've seen Blue Waffle. I saw Two Girls, One Cup. I love, and nothing beats Tub Girl for me because it's an Asian chick with her legs in the air and her butthole has inverted to an outie and she's shooting a fucking geyser of yoo-hoo looking diarrhea onto her own fucking face. And I don't like toss my meat to that, I just look at it and go, God, humans are fucked up. Why are we into this shit? And that's what I really look at porn for, is to see what deplorable shit some fucking moron with too much time and imagination decided would be a good thing to put out there for everybody to view. And there's midgets and grannies. If you want to have a weird time, go to black.com. It's exclusively white women getting just straight Pringle canned by giant cocoa-colored dicks. Yeah, fucking... There shouldn't be pain on a woman's face when you're making love to her. But that's the thing. I mean, if you want to see a woman say ow a lot, watch Mia Khalifa get fucked in the ass by a black guy. It's out there. We can find it right now if you like. But a couple of them that I saw, and I don't know why I thought to look this up, but, for every Two Girls, One Cup, there's something close to it. And there was once a video called Two Guys, One Horse. Yeah, heads are shaking right now. And it's some dude, naked, hands on the wall like he's getting fucking searched by the cops. And another man is helping a horse get its penis into this guy's ass. And the horse also has its fucking hooves up on the wall. I don't even know how the hell you train a horse to do that shit. But he fucking puts the horse's dick up to the dude's ass and the guy gets one good pump. He's like, ah! And later on I found out that man died from a perforated colon. So, I hope it was a good time, bud. Yeah, see, he says it's true. This guy fucking died.
So you watched the death video?
I didn't see him die, but I watched the precursor. It's kind of like if you watch ISIS videos, and there was a period in time where you would see them behead people, and then there was another period in time where you'd see them show a knife and show a body, and then they'd flash to some fucking squiggly writing that I don't know what the fuck it says. It's fucking music that they play in all these goddamn videos. And then there's just a head on the ground, and then a puddle of blood, and then a neck hole. So in that instance, as Doug Stanhope once said, this isn't a beheading video, it's a beheaded video. Where's the main event? But I think the most fucked up thing I've ever looked up when I've been trying to search weird porn is I once looked up chick blows horse. I like the expression of disgust on your face, ma'am.
It's going to stay there just for you.
So I'm assuming this happened somewhere rural, not like, somebody just happened to have a horse in their backyard somewhere. I believe the woman was Mexican because everybody was speaking Spanish and she looked the part.
Probably Tijuana.
You think Tijuana? It wasn't a donkey, though. It was a fucking horse. It was a good-sized horse. And I don't mean his dick. I mean the horse itself was a good, like a thoroughbred or something. So if you've never seen a horse's dick, has anybody not seen a horse's dick? Have we all seen what a horse's erect penis looks like? Okay, I'm glad everyone said yes. I don't feel so dirty now. Did you ever see the movie Flight of the Navigator? And it has that, it's like a kid finds a spaceship and he gets inside of it.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a camera in there with a fucking eye on it that right in his face. So this chick is holding this fucking horse's cock. And it looks like a fourth grader's fucking arm. It's massive. And at the end is like a fist. The head is not mushroom shaped. It's a fist. It's got like knuckles. It's fucking holy shit. And she's not just like fucking putting it in there. She is romancing the stone. She is fucking kissing, licking, sucking. She was trying to be seductive. The horse can't fucking see what she's doing. I mean, he knows what's going on. He's probably curious as to how he got in this particular position. I doubt he had it on his calendar that day. Like, check my Microsoft Teams. Am I getting a knob job today? As if it was Mr. Ed. So back to the chick sucking this horse's dick. She's really fucking giving it her all. And then she gets the whole... Like watching a toddler put his whole fist in his mouth. She's got the whole head in her mouth. And here's the thing that I didn't think of is the end of the video. Which, you know what it is. It's not like all of a sudden the Mexican policia showed up and raided the place and arrested her for bestiality. No. We're here to see the pop shot. And if you've never seen a horse ejaculate before... It's a lot. It's kind of like, remember when you're a kid and you're playing in the backyard and you go to take a drink from the hose? And then you grab the hose and you get your mouth right about to the spout to fucking take a drink and some wise ass at the spigot cranks it all the way up and it's just like, and you're fucking drowning in it so much it's down your throat, it's shooting out of your mouth and possibly out of your nose. This woman was awash in a sea of equestrian ejaculate. I mean, almost like a fucking fire hose went off in her fucking mouth. And she's just like still going and spitting it out while still going. And it's still fucking happening. And like this fucking cock has sprung a leak. Like an oil spill and there is no shut-off valve. And I really think this video is important in this day and age. Because how many of us kill ourselves to make a living? And to fight inflation and to get to a certain status. And we spend our whole life as the chick sucking the horse money cock, thinking to ourselves, I can't believe I'm doing this to myself for that little amount of money, and just wishing the whole time that we were the horse instead.
That was deep.
Thank you and good night.
This has been another Johnny Blumpkin Presents Single Star Garage Comedy Production. Copyright 2023.